Today I'm reacting to Frieren episode 20. The next 3 episodes and full reaction are on Patreon. I am so excited. I absolutely loved the last 2 episodes. It's some of the most enjoyable experience watching Frieren I've had in a while. Let's get right into it. Yubel is so cool. What's going on? Oh yeah, I never even questioned. I assume it's okay for them to kill each other in this test? What are you gonna do? Yeah, we got that quote from last episode. And are we gonna get that right now in the cold open? Saturation attack. Presumably because it just keeps firing and firing and firing. Oh wow, Fern is actually properly scaring her. Is that her killed? I won't be able to keep the music due to copyright. So this is my first time shooting Frieren in about a week or 2. Guys, thank you so much for being understanding about having to take a week away from uploading. Thank you so much to the same loyal couple of guys who have stuck with me, given that the algorithm isn't favoring me anymore, but I'm still getting kind of the loyal fan base, which I'm very, very thankful for. As you can see, I haven't shaved and I'm wearing wrist supports, which shows you kind of what my physical state has been. It's getting better, fingers crossed. It's getting better. The exercise regime and the medication I'm on is actually suiting me. The reason I couldn't shoot last week and I had to miss a week was because the last medication gave me a bowel infection. But thankfully, I'm doing better in that regard, and I'm really, really excited to watch Frieren. Necessary killings. Okay, that kind of answers my question as to what's happening this episode. Love her outfit. I say it each time. I don't care. I love her outfit. Okay. So what's going to distract him then? And how is she going to make it out of this? Well, there's no way she's going to give up the steal because she's not that type of girl. So what's going to happen? Ah, she's thinking. Okay, what are we going to be getting? That big grin on her face. Oh, the poor little bird. Is she like some sort of sadist or something like that? Yeah, like literally. Yeah, called it. Notice as well with the translation, he used the word hentai, and that was translated to sicko. Yeah, what's your trauma, bro? Okay, we actually are getting a backstory. So that's just what he had to face. Which obviously doesn't make it any less hell. Oh, okay, so she's like really, really getting into his head. Okay, what are we getting? Oh, okay, let's go. That's something. Fern here to save the day. But it's interesting to see this duality of him, a human who has to act monster, and Yubel is closer to a monster having to act human.
その子は鳥を捕まえる魔法を師匠から教わっていた。
エーレと戦っていたな。あいつはどうした？
殺しました。
第一次試験の合格条件は
Yeah, this is this is what I was wondering. Is killing against the rules? So he's lost.
私を殺すんじゃなかったの？
Well, there's no point now.
合格が確定したんだ。もう不要な殺しだ。じゃあな。不要な殺しが必要な殺しに戻るだけだ。
ユーベレ様、わかってるよ。
Wow, very, very quick to kill, as we can see. But that's so interesting how, like, a big scene like that can just de-escalate like that. And it was a lie.
大丈夫でしょう。
Okay, so this is our character Land. What's happening here?
勝負ありだな。
すごいね、これ。でもこれ我流でしょ。
Oh my god, that massive cut down his body. Looks horrible.
君の弱点はよくわかったよ。多分僕の勝ちだ。
饒舌だな。
There's a lot of talking happening in this episode, but it's all really, really interesting. I'm just kind of hanging on everyone's word on this episode. I'm just so invested.
君、魔力探知苦手でしょ。
Well, given that we had the fake out of no death in the previous scene, I'm assuming this scene is going to have a death. Yeah. Or at the very least, he's paralyzed, right? Interesting. That's absolutely fascinating.
何が殺しただ。あのクソ女、平然と嘘つきやがって。魔法学校の首席だろ。
I'll cut her some slack.
攻撃魔法の物量で押し切られたわ。信じてないでしょ。
Well, why would she lie?
いいや。
Whoa.
だが一般攻撃魔法だけでこれほど。
God, Frieren has just really climbed the ranks, hasn't she? Both with her actual magic ability and her maturity.
行くぞ。シャルフと合流する。
She's the Stark of their little group. Why do I feel like something horrible is about to happen? Yeah, I knew he wasn't going to be killed. It would have, yeah, paralyzed. It would have been maybe a little bit too much of an introduction for that character of Land in this type of story. Is it all above? Rain? That's such a beautiful shot. It's so crazy being this far deep into an episode and still no sign of Frieren, the title character. That's a cool line. Whoa, look at that big guy. No, I don't believe you. Oh wow, that's very Mikasa coded with the big red scarf. Yes. Kill the Titans first, Eren. Yeah, but this is like what I'm talking about. There's way too much humanity working around him there for him to be as evil as he's presenting. But again, here we have another character whose actions are determined by the past and by memories. Nice one. That was straightforward. He didn't kill it, did he? It's just very still. Okay, this part of the story. Very interesting. Excuse you, she's looking very cool. That's what she's doing. Okay, so what's gonna happen now with this particular fight? Frieren, I love how calm you are, but I think you should hurry up because we need this bird to pass the test. I'm in love with the sound of the rain overhead. Oh, hello. tall woman.
界の中は雨でも快適だな。
笑わせる。
He's probably going to make the argument that, literally, I was going to say, he's going to make the argument that if they had any worth, they wouldn't die at all, like what Denken was saying in the previous episode.
これは争奪戦に見せかけた対人戦だ。
運も実力のうちだ。それに運以外でシュティレを捕まえた連中もいるようだ。対人戦が。
Oh, okay, they're facing off directly here. What exactly is going on?
3分の1は残るだろう。その中に
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm really interested to see the kind of conversation Denken and Frieren are going to be having.
あのじいさんももう年だ。
Presumably he has something to prove to other people, not just himself, based on what he was talking about last episode. That's what I was talking about. That's what I was literally talking about in the previous episode. Surely there's going to be a spell for high-speed movement. I called it. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about the last episode. I'm so hyped for this conversation.
もしかしたらとは思っていたが、エルフってマジで年取らねえんだな。
デンケンがお前の足止めをしている間に、俺がそっちのガキ2人。
But is, again, harkening back to the entire first act, is death necessary in this kind of story?
こっちは引かざるを得ないわけだ。
やめろリヒター。わしらは足止めができればそれでいい。勝てる勝負だ。
宮廷魔法使いだろ。性敵を消したことだって一度や二度じゃないはずだ。
Right, but everything that we have seen of him thus far shows that any decision he makes, he clearly has, like, so much wisdom and experience behind it.
それだけは同意見かな。
半世紀以上前に突如として歴史の表舞台に現れ。 人類の魔法使いの頂点に君臨した。
Yeah, this is what I was thinking about his character. Oh, this is the girl we saw in the OP. I was wondering who she was. Yeah, but I can understand, outside of just the MacGuffin of the spell, why a young man like him would be enamored by the, like, spectre. That is an extremely interesting plot point, though.
人ってのは単純でな。おかげで今や一級魔法使いは人外を疑うほどの化け物揃いだ。電剣。
See, this is exactly what I was talking about, though, a few episodes back, that within this world, having the lore be the main source for the storytelling is just so compelling. Looks like Denken is going to be making the decision himself. Are we going to be getting a huge fight this episode, or is this all just going to be a build-up for the next one?
若いやつは血気盛んでいかん。
Love these two close-up shots. Wow. I mean, I was making that comment about, are we even going to be getting a fight in this episode, kind of somewhat tongue-in-cheek, because I was like, maybe we have about a quarter left. Wow. Okay, so just like that, we are back to watching Frieren. It's such a pity that I can't just get right to the next episode. Obviously, because the next episode is going to be going right into the battle. Unfortunately, I do just have to take care of my health. I'm, feeling well enough just to be able to film and edit again, well, with my family's help. So I want to keep that going by not pushing myself any further. But yeah, God, what a great episode. It seemed to be a good continuation of kind of what was already set up in the previous episode. In the previous episode, we had like the fighting between Fern and Era, I think is that girl's name. The girl who's obviously on the same team as Werbel. That, you did get those kind of high intensity shots back to back. and Era describing Werbel as being unscrupulous to Fern, and then the episode just ends. So kind of to pick that up where it left off was very, very satisfying. You know, these these couple of episodes are definitely seeming to be cut very much of the same cloth story-wise, that they're all just telling this like really self-contained thing. Speaking of self-contained, it's crazy just how much of this episode was just a dialogue. I mean, we got a lot of set pieces in the previous two episodes, right? With like seeing the steel, seeing the bird, what's being captured there, showing how the two girls, Laween and Kan, I believe, like their little set piece in the episode before that with the water and manipulating it and whatnot. So it makes sense that we get a lot of dialogue this episode just to get us more characterization. I said it in the middle of the episode, I just absolutely loved this comparison we have between Yubel and Werbel. These two, and I suppose their names are even somewhat similar. Just cleaning my laptop screen. Oh no, that's not my laptop screen. That's the animation. I'm still looking at the Fern and Frieren sketch when I pause the episode at the very end of the episode. You know, they do have this contrast, Yubel and Werbel, in that he's willing to do these menacing acts as a means to an end, and whether or not the ends do truly justify the means, and if you can rationalize it that way, is obviously a different matter altogether. Whereas Yubel is being portrayed much more as like an actual sick person who has these tendencies and is not an illogical person. I'm trying to think of another comparison within the anime. Just the main actual comparison that's coming to mind is not anime at all. It's the character of Gus from Breaking Bad, who's able to do these very monstrous things, but he has this code. He has this like kind of like logical code, but of course to be able to do these horrendous things, you still have to have this, at the very least, detachment. But then again, a character like her, she's being portrayed as like a bit of a sadist, which is in and of itself like even more escalated. But yeah, this was an episode where, like I said, we're halfway through the episode before we even got Frieren. They do these nice kind of like establishing. I mean, at this point we have so many characters going on, right? And they clearly want to establish Werbel and Yubel and Denken as characters we're going to be following for a little bit longer. And what's great about Frieren is that it doesn't necessarily have a small amount of characters, but it definitely doesn't have a huge amount, all things considered, especially now that we're 20 episodes into it. So it makes sense that these are characters we're presumably going to be seeing for a while, because we did get some new characters come in and out, such as Kraft, for instance, in like the last 10 episodes. So it makes sense that we're getting this much exposition if we're presumably going to be following them for a while. I loved the action sequences in this show, just kind of very simple, but they worked really effectively. I loved that. I don't know if I'll be able to keep it in the edit, but I loved the long pullback shot as Werbel has Yubel at like gunpoint, so to speak, and he's just not killing her. He's not allowing that to happen. So as such, you know, you get this strong amount of tension that then ends up reinforcing what happens next, with him giving us this backstory about how killing is just a necessary end to him. There's a and again, this is living up with the title of the episode itself. So much of this show is to do with death. This particular episode, when I say show, is to do with death and whether it's justified and trying to avoid it at all costs. And when we have the exposition of that girl with the books, I forget her name, but because it was only mentioned once, but who has the capacity to grant any spell to a first class mage if they can prove it. It's very easy to then jump to thinking of the likes of Frieren, who is presumably someone who is going to have this, well, for one thing, obviously is a mage and an elf, well, as an elf, not necessarily as a mage, but as an elf who has all this experience with death for years now, and with all the exposition we've gotten of Himmel, then it's pretty easy to come to the conclusion that, one, that's the spell she's going to be looking for, and two, how an episode like this ends up kind of underlining the overall themes of death that have been running throughout the show. The sequence in which the bird was stolen from her really did take me by surprise, and even for Frieren, she seemed to be very, very chill. They do like leaning into that characterization, I must say, of Frieren being so stoic. I tell you guys, at this particular point, I'm loving it's this kind of this. There's this disparity where I absolutely love what I'm doing. I'm just so disappointed that like I used to be getting hundreds of views for Frieren. I got so excited when the first 3 episodes went live, and I know the first season had come out, and I was helped by the algorithm. It's just I had to. There was a stumbles along the way. It's all like trying to react to Witch Hat Atelier, thinking to myself, oh, that's great. I'll be able to take advantage of 2 fan bases. But because my channel is so small, it meant that the algorithm stopped it stopped recommending Frieren then to new viewers just as the popularity for Frieren died away. So I don't know. I have some ideas in mind what my next show is going to be. But I mean, there's still a long way to go. I have 8 episodes of this season and 18 of the next one. So wow, yeah, God, I just realized that means I'm officially more than halfway through Frieren. That's crazy. But look, I won't start bitching about the channel and my disappointment. I'm very happy to have the people I have, and I will just say again to my loyal subscribers on Patreon, or my loyal subscribers here on YouTube, even if it is just for $1 a month, any bit of help you can give me on Patreon is going to be so appreciated. Not only just obviously for the financial side of it, but just like knowing that you guys will go out of your way to support me like that, especially if you already do. I love it so much. And I love getting the regular commenters each week as well. I just can't thank you enough for all your support. And that is kind of the bittersweet thing about it. It's not even for the financial gain or like the career growth or the channel growth in and of itself, although obviously those things really matter. It's just having people to share this passion of mine with. I know my reaction style isn't going to be for everyone. As I'm watching the episode, I'm constantly thinking, should I speak now? Should I not speak now? Should I wait for the next shot? And I've gotten a lot better at that. But I still do get the occasional comment of people who are saying, I used to like what you do, but now you overreact, so I'm unsubscribing. Or they say, you talk way too much, you talk over the dialogue and you miss things. And if you're my regular viewer, you know I've explained all that process before. I won't be doing it again. So what I'm trying to say is that I understand that my reaction style is not going to be for everyone. So that means that if you are a regular and you have stayed around, you're clearly getting something out of this and out of me. So I just, again, want to say thank you for being so patient with me. I love watching this show. I'm really looking forward to watch even more. And I think I'm going to leave it there. Great episode. I think I covered most of what I wanted to say within the episode itself. I just thought, yeah, it's so... I just love... I said it again in the previous episode's review, but I'll say it again now. I love the character of Denken so far and what he's bringing to the show. I was just really impressed with the dialogue and exposition we got for him in that previous episode. So looking forward to see more, especially this battle between these two like old wizened mages, right? It's going to be brilliant. I already know it's going to be brilliant. I'm just so loving this anime. I don't think there's a better note to end on, so I'll end it there. Thank you so much for supporting me and supporting the channel. Once again, any support you do feel like giving me on Patreon would be appreciated, but even you just sticking around to the end of this video and watching me at all, it's fantastic. It's a really great feeling. So I'm going to leave it there. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thanks for watching.